In a small village surrounded by thick forests, there lived a young man named Ekemini, known for his looks and pride. Every maiden in the village wanted him, but Ekemini would laugh and turn them away. "I deserve someone extraordinary," he would say, "someone as perfect as me." One day, while hunting in the forest, Ekemini saw a woman by the river. She was beautiful beyond words. Her skin glowed in the sunlight, her hair flowed like a river, and her smile made his heart race. Her name was Ifunanya, and she spoke as if she had always known him. "Who are you?" Ekemini asked, unable to take his eyes off her. "I am someone meant for you," she said, her voice soft and sweet. Blinded by her beauty, Ekemini decided she would be his wife. He took her back to the village, ignoring the whispers of the elders. The oldest among them, Papa Ekong, pulled him aside and said, "This woman is not of this world. Be careful, my son. The forest hides spirits." But Ekemini laughed. "You're just jealous of my good fortune." Ifunanya quickly became the jewel of the village. She cooked meals that tasted like heaven, sang songs that lulled even crying babies to sleep, and carried herself with grace. Ekemini believed he had won the ultimate prize. But strange things began to happen. The food Ifunanya prepared never spoiled, not even after days in the sun. She avoided the shrine during prayers, always finding an excuse to stay away. And at night, Ekemini noticed something eerie. A shadow moved on its own. It stretched and twisted against the walls. Even when she sat perfectly still, Ekemini tried to ignore it, but the unease grew inside him. One night, Ekemini pretended to be asleep. When the moon was high, Ifunanya quietly rose from the bed and slipped into the forest. Curious and afraid, Ekemini followed her, keeping a safe distance. She walked deep into the forest until she reached a clearing. There, under the moonlight, she began to change. Her glowing skin turned pale and cracked like dry earth. Her hair fell in clumps, revealing a bald, scaly scalp. Her hands grew into sharp, clawed fingers, and her eyes turned a fiery red that lit up the darkness. Ekemini froze in terror as he watched her chant in a language he couldn't understand. Shadows gathered around her, forming ghostly figures with hollow eyes and sharp teeth. One of the spirits turned and pointed in his direction. "He's here!" it hissed. Ifunanya's head snapped toward him, a smile stretching unnaturally wide. "Come out, husband," she called, in a voice that no longer sounded human. Shaking, Ekemini stepped forward. What are you?" She laughed, a terrible sound that echoed through the forest. "I am what you desired, a perfect woman, but perfection comes with a price. I am a witch, cursed to feed on the souls of proud men like you. Your arrogance brought you here." Ekemini begged for his life, falling to his knees. "Please, Ifunanya, don't kill me. I'll do anything." She leaned closer, her fiery eyes burning into his. "There's only one way to save yourself. Offer me someone you love, their soul for yours." Ekemini's mind raced. Could he really sacrifice someone he cared about to save himself? He thought of his family, his friends, but his fear of death overwhelmed him. Desperate, he tried to run, but the spirits surrounded him, their hollow eyes staring into his soul. "Run all you want," Ifunanya said, her voice filled with malice. "You can't escape me." Ekemini ran through the forest, his lungs burning and his legs trembling. The trees seemed to close in around him, their branches clawing at his skin. He stumbled into the village shrine, collapsing before Papa Ekong. "Help me! She's a witch! She's going to kill me!" he cried. Papa Ekong and the other elders quickly lit candles and began to pray. The shrine filled with the sound of chants as they called upon the village gods for protection. Ifunanya appeared, at the shrine's edge, her monstrous form more terrifying under the dawn light. "You can't hide from me, Ekemini," she hissed, her claws scraped against an invisible barrier, the god's protection keeping her out. "You are safe now," Papa Ikom said, but his face was grim. The gods demand a price for their protection. The gods spared Ekemini's life, but he was banished from the village forever. "Your arrogance brought this upon us," the elders told him. "You must wander the earth alone," a reminder of what happens to those who ignore wisdom. As for Ifunanya, she vanished into the forest, her laughter echoing in the distance, but the villagers knew she wasn't gone. The forest remained haunted, her fiery eyes watching from the shadows, waiting for the next man whose pride would lead him to her. The story of Ekemini and Ifunanya is told to this day. It is a warning to value wisdom over pride, to listen to the voice of reason, and to never take beauty at face value.